So funny. It's like cricket.
Hello, everybody. You're listening to Havdalah Happy Hour on the Beth El Podcast Network. And
close that window.
Live on our YouTube channel, maybe. I don't know where my paper is to tell me the thing.
But you're Ben, and I'm Jill.
I'm Emily.
Jeremy.
And welcome back, everybody. After a brief hiatus, we took the holiday off. Hope everybody had a wonderful Purim.
It was fantastic here.
Amazing.
It was a great Purim.
Amazing.
And Purim is not my favorite holiday, but even I will say that it was really a spectacular holiday to celebrate with our community in so many different ways, and it really was lovely.
Yeah, it was. It felt so full. David came, that's my husband for everyone who doesn't know, about an hour into the evening, and he said to me, the parking lot looks like Rosh Hashanah. It was packed.
It was really very nice, and it was joyful, and it was everything that Purim was supposed to be.
And there were so many people. There really were. And all the
so
different
many
spaces.
hamantaschen.
So many hamantaschen.
I think we're still defrosting hamantaschen from the freezer.
And
there are so many.
thankfully, I don't think I saw a munwan at all.
Oh,
they
They
were
were
there.
there.
I didn't see it.
They
But-
were
That's
there.
important.
Shout out to Teresa who found me a chocolate one.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
I think that was like the last chocolate one.
I know.
Can you freeze them?
Yes.
Yeah, but they're never as good once you freeze them.
Oh, that's everything.
I made them and froze them for when my kids come home.
Yeah, that. I don't,
Yeah.
You
they're-
could. You could.
Yeah, they're good. Whatever. But it was a great Purim and everyone was happy. And from the multiple spiels,
Yes.
we had a Wicked themed one,
Three.
Three. We had
Well,
two. The
it was
Wicked
really
one was
2.5.
back to back.
Because it was the same. The Wicked
Right.
spiel was
With
the
a
same.
slightly
It was
different
two
cast. And that was
showings.
amazing.
But it
The
was the
religious school and Cantor Schuster piloted that new kind of family spiel. And then we had the congregation spiel that evening, which was Disney, which was super fun. And then the after party, it was fun.
It was amazing. And I didn't get to see both of the groups of the kids. I heard the first group was awesome. I saw the second group. They were awesome. But I was in the carnival for the first half, and there were so many people, and the kids were just having such a good time.
What's your favorite game?
I don't know. I was running the alien pinball game. That was pretty cool.
I love a pinball machine.
It was, there were just people everywhere, and little kids, bigger kids, and there were so many different rooms. I was amazed.
I think Jeremy might have this, and I don't know if we had this at the carnival, but sometimes it features pretty prominently in carnival games. It's the tabletop horse race.
Yes.
It's like a green thing, and it's got the.
We have the one with pigs.
Yeah.
We've had one with
We've had the
pigs here the
pigs,
last
right.
couple of years,
I
which is
have
so
one-
ironic.
I have one upstairs in my office.
And so it's super fun to play because I can't do it for realsies anymore, but I enjoy this version that I sometimes see at carnivals. We should bring that for the Purim Carnival next year.
The one I have is a small one. for
Yeah,
the
small.
Yeah.
I think it comes in bigger sizes, but it's a fun idea, and I enjoy it. It's delightful. Delightful little game.
Stop up to my office on Monday.
Oh, great. Yeah.
We also had several teenagers that came to volunteer and lead the games, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
That's always nice.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And then we had that separate early childhood room, which I think was a
Oh,
big
yeah.
hit. Poor Mandy. I don't think she left the room for 1 second, but
yeah, she's a trooper.
He
Yeah.
didn't. And
Shout
there was
out
the
to
early
Mandy.
childhood room, and then there was the room where they were, what were they doing in there? They were making bags of hygienic products
Yes.
for people in need.
Yes.
And then they also had another room where they were doing face paints and temporary tattoos. There were so many things
and
happening.
don't forget the
then
mac and
dinner.
cheese and ziti.
Yep. Oh my
That was always
goodness.
a big hit.
I ran over there, put some in a cup, and then ate it while I watched one of the spiels because I was trying to multitask.
Dinner theater.
Yeah, absolutely. It was wonderful.
It was a really fun, festive, happy.
It was a great
it felt
great
very
day.
pre-COVID.
Yeah, it did feel a little bit pre-COVID. I remember our last Purim, like right before COVID. That was a fun one too.
It was great. That was the Back to the Future one,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, that was a great Purim. But and then like 2 days later,
World
Bye-bye.
shut down.
Yeah.
But let's not talk about it because it was
No.
terrible.
No, let's talk about the adult spiel. The Disney spiel
Yes.
was so fun.
And
It was fun. They did a great
So
job.
The
fun.
King family made
Yeah,
it up.
they wrote
They
it.
wrote the whole
They-
thing, which
They're great parodyists. I've said
With-
this many times before.
With a tremendous amount of work from the choir as well.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
did it. Everybody who was involved in that, from the writing of it to the performing of it, did an exceptional job. And it was super fun to try and figure out where all the songs came from.
Mhm.
Yep.
There were two that I didn't catch, two that I didn't know, but I got most of the rest of them. And the lyrics, the writing was phenomenal. I mean, it was great. It was super fun.
My kids and I got all of the songs. It was really fun to write down what we thought they were and to sing along with the lyrics that they had posted.
Yeah, I wonder who won the
So
contest.
fun. I know I didn't apparently because I didn't hear back.
But it was super fun.
you know, when there's an event of that scale in the building, I typically don't sit. I'm running around. I'm going from here to there to everywhere, but I couldn't leave. Like I didn't want to get up, so I stayed and watched the whole
I'll
spiel.
also say this: the screen in the sanctuary looked better than it ever has. I don't know. I think actually Cantor King's daughter's husband, so Cantor King's son-in-law, had a little bit to do with it, and he like gussied it up a little, and it looks better than ever.
Great.
Like even from where I sit, like all the way on the other side, I could see it clearly. I could see. All
I
the
was in the back
lyrics, I
row
could see the
of
text
section
the
3, and I
Megillah.
could see everything.
It was really great. It was really just a very nice evening, and I think we're still riding a little bit of that high going on. Even though, again, not my favorite holiday, and we're coming up to another not of my favorite holiday.
The next one is my favorite holiday.
favorite?
I love it.
Yeah,
4th of July.
yeah, Seer
Yeah.
Summer Shabbat is what
Yeah.
we call that here. Jeremy.
Yes. Passover will be here in the blink of an
Yay.
eye. My Seder at my house went from 18 to 28 people overnight.
Are you still taking RSVPs or has registration closed?
My personal Seder is closed, as is the Beth El Seder.
Right, that's a popular Seder, the Beth El Seder.
It's sold out, or not sold out, but
We capped every year.
quick.
Always.
Yeah,
Real
very
quick.
quick.
Always.
Yes.
It's very popular.
Yeah.
Again, Cantor King and his family do a really beautiful job to make that Seder really nice.
And if you've never had Mrs. King's brisket, you are missing out.
Missing out.
I am looking forward to that Seder. I'm
Yeah.
used to hosting Seder for over 20, and this year will be a little bit different for my family.
Yes.
So
Oh,
I'm
this
excited
is your first
about
Pesach in the
that.
area, right?
It sure is.
Oh.
You have a
So-
fun table.
Yay.
You have a good group. You're sitting with a good group.
I'm excited. Yeah, it'll be very different. It's good different because my
Sure.
kids were so excited to go to Giant and not a sponsor and other
Not a
places
sponsor.
to purchase lots of different Passover foods that we've not had access to before. So that part's really fun.
Like
That is
what?
fun.
Like the sheer number of like cookies and cakes and gummies and like they want to try everything. I'm like,
Oh,
all
that's
right,
great.
Fine.
What is everybody's favorite gross Passover snack?
Beastly?
Okay, the beastly.
Mhm.
Sure. Great.
I feel like I just go with macaroons.
Oh.
That's
can't.
on like the bottom of my list.
well, you said
Yeah.
gross, right?
Well, your favorite gross one. So like my favorite gross one, like the one I'll eat without complaining too much, are the fruit gels.
Yes.
Oh, those are. I like those.
right.
yeah.
I love
Not
them.
bad.
They're gross
My-
when you think about it.
They are disgusting, but I can't get enough of them.
The green one.
I
is
do
my
like them a
favorite.
little stale.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
Like Peeps. You
I
probably
don't-
don't eat
for me-
Peeps because they're not kosher. I'm sorry, but
I think
Peeps
they were
are.
invented by a Jewish person.
They were, but they're better. I like marshmallows better, a little chewy, a little
There is
stale.
the chocolate covered marshmallow. That's
Yeah,
pretty
the
good for
Joya.
Passover.
Joya makes them, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the brand?
Mhm. But they also make on the other side of that the disgusting
No,
chocolate covered
don't
jelly.
even say it. It's vile.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yes,
we've
I'm
just
like,
purchased
I just
both
gagged,
of
I
those.
just
Don't
gagged
eat
a
the-
little.
I won't eat them.
Yeah.
They're not for me.
No.
They're for my kids.
Yeah, all right.
I don't like any of those things.
No.
The
I
marshmallow
skip
is fine.
dessert.
The chocolate covered marshmallow, absolutely fine.
I would
Fine.
rather
Fine,
skip
a little
dessert.
stale though.
And they have those chocolate lollipops
Yeah,
that are okay.
Yeah.
Those are fine.
but when I was little, my mom would say, "Oh, this cereal, it's kosher for Passover. It's just like your." I'm like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
no.
no, it's not. We can trick ourselves all we want.
Now, I'm gonna like. I keep Passover. I'm very strict about keeping Passover, but like I still use the same toothpaste and the same like. Aren't there people that change toothpaste?
Sure. I mean, people have always gone a little crazy for Passover. In fact, a couple of years ago, the chief rabbinate in Israel certifies hotels and
Oh.
stuff for kashrut for Passover. And a couple of years ago, the Sephardic chief rabbinate refused to certify a couple of hotels because it said it was too many chumras coming from the Ashkenazi chief rabbinate. A chumrah is a stringency.
For our
I'm eating
listeners who are not watching us and who are just listening
Ben
to the
is not
audio,
having a stroke.
Ben is
I
okay.
ate a piece of ice.
He's healthy, but he's eating a piece of ice.
I've finished the piece of ice. So
He's
they
chewing on a
refused-
piece
so
of ice.
They refused to certify the hotels because there was too many chumras, too many stringencies that the Ashkenazi chief rabbinate had like made up. And the stringency is not halacha. I want to be clear. It is not Jewish law. Like gebrachs, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, is like when matzah gets wet, illegal to eat it. No, it isn't.
No, I need to be able to have my matzah bride.
Correct.
Yes.
Right? So
I love
there are
matzah
these
pizza.
Passover stringencies that exist, but they're not Jewish law. And the chief rabbinate, the Sephardic chief rabbinate, is like, absolutely not. This is too much. Like there is a line, and some people go really crazy on Passover, and you don't really have to. I mean, there are things you have to do,
of course.
and then there are things you don't have to do. But if you like to make yourself crazy, and I guess this is part of being Jewish, and enjoying suffering,
well,
like maybe okay, but like I think especially around Passover time, you're definitely going to see too many chumras and
now,
too many stringencies.
every year since I've worked here, I've gone to Ben, and do you remember the question I ask you every single year?
Can I have rice on Passover?
Can I have rice or no rice on
Right.
Passover? And I go to you and Rabbi Schwartz, and
Well, Rabbi Schwartz and I have a differing of opinion when
Right.
it comes to rice on Passover. Traditionally, it has been prevalent in the Sephardic community to eat rice on Passover, but the truth is that the Torah does not forbid the eating of rice on Passover. The Torah says it's okay to eat rice on Passover, but there has been, again, this is a chumrah. Not eating rice is a stringency that was made up in thousands of years ago during rabbinic times, and this has been a tradition that has kept, and people take traditions very seriously, and that's like okay too, but it's not, rice is not unkosher for Passover. All right?
but as a little girl, it was.
Yep.
But so it's more of like a mind
Yeah,
thing now for
sure.
me. Like I feel guilty
Well,
if I have it, but I then know halachically I can have it.
Jewish guilt also is super
Right.
powerful, but the conservative
Absolutely.
movement decided several years ago that it was in fact okay for even Ashkenazic people to have rice on Passover. So, if
Still
it's
doesn't mean you have to.
It
Right.
still does not mean you have to. So if it's something that's important to you, that's like a family tradition that you don't eat kitniyot on Passover, okay, fine. But just so you know, it's not because it's unkosher for Passover.
Right.
It's because you've
My traditions
accepted a
have
ridiculous stringency from medieval times.
right. It's just very interesting.
It's hard
because
to change.
Change
Sure,
is
it's hard to
very
change.
hard.
I get that, but there's a difference when people say something is unkosher for Passover.
It's not
Which it is
unkosher.
not.
It's more
And
of
that
a.
is- that is
It's my tradition not to
deception.
have it.
It
Right.
is- yeah, right. It's misinformation, and I want. It's important for us to be intellectually honest. It's one thing if it's a tradition for you to, but don't go around telling people it's not kosher for Passover.
Absolutely. But I mean, there's a difference between minchag, tradition,
Sure.
and mitzvah, commandment. But
Correct.
they're both very strong.
Very strong, very powerful, and again, not to negate anybody's traditions. People
Yeah.
have. I mean, there's a beautiful Iranian custom, a Persian Jewish custom,
Persia.
during Passover from Persia.
Persia.
To whack each other with leeks during the singing of Dayenu. Right now, most of us
I
probably
did
don't
attend
do
a Seder
this,
that
but
did
I
that.
have
That
also
was-
attended such a Seder, and it's
Yep.
delightful. But again, super powerful. Great.
I love Seder, going to the Seders. The food is a little bit disappointing sometimes, but since I've become a mom and a wife, I'm the person responsible for preparing the meals during Passover for my family. I've come up with some very good dupes for things that, like the barekas. I make delicious kosher for Passover ones.
No, you don't. You think they're delicious. You
Oh,
tricked yourself into they're delicious.
I don't know. They're very cheesy and buttery and delicious
I mean,
to
those
me,
all sound
but it is
pretty
still
good.
it is still kosher for Passover food. Matzah pizza is matzah pizza. I'm
That's
not
like
going to
my
trick myself
staple.
into thinking that it's delicious. It's just a way
It's
to get
delicious for
through.
Passover.
It's a way to get through the
Yes.
week.
And especially if you only have something on Passover, it's special, at least
Right.
for the first few days.
Well, that's how I feel about sort of matzah in general. I know there are people that eat it all year round. I believe this to be a
No.
sin, actually.
But Ben, tell everyone about the matzah that you.
Soft matzah?
Mhm.
Yeah, there is such a thing as soft matzah. So let's
Where can you buy that?
So you can import it
York.
at great cost from New York.
That's
which
what I
do
thought.
every year. But let's not kid ourselves. The matzah that our ancestors were eating in the desert is not that square, crunchy cracker.
It's
it
not.
just is not.
They
Really?
didn't have the matzah making machines by
There was
Manischewitz.
no
That's
Manischewitz
crazy.
matzah machine in the desert. Right now, it's also credit where credit is due. The matzah making machine was invented by Manischewitz.
Yes, it
in
was.
like 1890 something. Super old, maybe even earlier than 1890 something. But it's super old, and it's definitely like an American tradition. To have that square, crunchy matzah that Manischewitz invented due to a need in their community, and had grown substantially since then. Manischewitz is an all-American, all-Jewish company that's saved us all at some point or another.
So, side note about Manischewitz. I read the other day Manischewitz has a food truck in New
Brand
York.
spanking new.
How cool is that? Like, you can
New
go
York and
and
New
get,
Jersey.
okay,
Yeah.
like matzo ball soup
It's
from
a-
a food truck.
it's a
a
mobile
Manischewitz.
deli.
But
It's
they've had them.
amazing.
They've had them come here before from up north. I've
is
been
new.
to events.
It's
this
new.
is years ago, though. I've been to events where a kosher food truck has come, and I
Kosher
think
food truck's
Yeah,
fine.
right,
this is
correct, but not
Manischewitz.
this
This
one.
is specifically
Right.
a Manischewitz food deli
Yeah.
truck that is driving around Manhattan and driving around New Jersey, and brand new. I think it's part of their new remarketing efforts.
Yes,
since
exactly.
Manischewitz has been around since I think it was founded maybe in 1835 is maybe what I'm coming up with, sometime in that area.
What is time? It's
What
old.
What is time?
Right, what is time? But it's been around for a long time.
Long time.
And it's looked the same for a
Yeah.
long time. And I think they've decided to do some remarketing, rebranding. And I think it's a great idea and a great way for them to showcase some of their new brand styles, some of their new stuff.
Absolutely. Have you tried it? I got these at Giant, not a sponsor. Also, Manischewitz, not a sponsor. But
Pity.
chocolate rugelach in the freezer section at Giant, and you only cook them for like 8 minutes, and they're so delicious.
So
Really?
You know I'm
Yeah.
very particular about
They're
rugelach.
soft.
Like how soft? Like
Like-
gooey soft?
Yes.
Like marzipan gooey soft?
yes, because otherwise I wouldn't eat them.
I don't believe you.
All right. Well, I'll just,
I bet they're delicious.
we'll have to
Let's
find a time to
we'll
prove
bring
it.
them here.
Yes.
And we will try it maybe after Passover.
Yes.
We'll taste test it here on this very podcast.
let's do
We
it.
should. We should have a rugelach taste test. All right.
Who's
it-
going
it-
to Israel next?
Amanda.
That's not till this summer.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
not waiting until the summer. But there's
You
somebody-
are.
I
Oh,
think
wait,
I
the
might
king-
go.
Aren't you going?
I'm gonna. Yeah,
The
I'm trying
Kings.
to go.
I think Cantor's going,
the
but that's yeah.
That's right.
Side by
He is
side with
going.
marzipan. That would be amazing.
Mhm.
When are you going?
I'm gonna try and go maybe end of May, early June. We're gonna see what's gonna happen, but
Okay.
I would like to get there some point this year.
All right,
Is my
guys.
But you know, man plans, God laughs.
It's
Mhm.
that
I
time.
feel
It's
like
that
it
time.
is.
It is that time for Shanda of the Week. And Jeremy, since you've returned from your sojourns in the South, you can begin today's Shanda of the Week.
South Florida, to be exact.
The
Great,
South.
great transition, and
South
we
of
haven't
here.
even talked about it. But my Shonda of the week would come just a couple days ago when we were flying back
Oh,
from
God.
Florida to
Did your bags
Baltimore.
make it?
We don't check bags anymore.
That's right. They don't travel with, except for that one
Except
time
you
when
did.
you did.
We now no longer, and I will say, easy experience.
Oh, great.
Both ways. The bags went with us. The kids went with us. It was
Well, that's good.
technically spring break, so the airports were crowded, but our flights were fine. Everything was good. It was one of those flights, though, that Jill, I know you live for these, where the flight attendants will actually say, the pilots have asked us to stay in our seats today because of the turbulence that we're about to go through.
I would start crying at that exact moment.
Never a good sign. So I always check the weather before we fly to see what's...
Why bother, Jeremy? You know the weather is like time.
Because I like to know what we're flying through. Now, I don't share that with my wife. I let her be surprised like everyone else. So coming home, I knew that, you know, there were going to be some bumps that we were coming through, but fine. But what's interesting is that even when they told the flight attendants to, you know, they serve drinks and some sort of dry, they're not even pretzels. It's
no,
South.
I know
It's like a
exactly what you're
crunchy
talking
something.
about.
Right. It's Southwest, not a sponsor, but
We
anyway.
don't want it to be.
So even once they serve the drinks and they serve the snacks and the flight had come on and say, the pilots asked us to end the beverage service. We need to collect everyone's trash, sit down. Everyone's sitting down. That one flight attendant stayed up with her little clipboard for anyone drinking alcohol and made sure she got the credit cards from each part. So
Of course she did.
Wasn't that bad?
While safety is important, clearly
Money
got to
is
make
more.
that revenue.
Right.
But no, so anyway, my Sean, everything was great.
Good.
Pilots did an amazing job getting around all the turbulence, and it wasn't horrible. But my Shonda would be once we landed back in Baltimore a couple of days ago, they actually said, we know we have several people on this flight who have connections, and some of those connecting flights are going to leave pretty soon. So everyone, please remain seated, and only those people who have connecting flights, please be the first to get up so
That's
you can
reasonable.
get off the plane.
Very.
So
People
for
aren't
about
nice,
it
though.
was great. So for
Yeah.
about the first 30 seconds of that worked. But then all of a sudden, everyone stood up, and two of the people who stood up live in my neighborhood. So I know that they do not have connecting flights. And on the way home, I drove by their house, and sure enough, their car was there. So the Shondas of the week are the people who still got up and who inconvenienced other people trying to make their
selfish.
flights.
So selfish.
They waited it could have waited like 2 minutes.
It would have
2
been like
minutes.
10 minutes. But so what
Right.
I
So
Okay,
what?
10 minutes. You've sat
Big
there
deal.
for how long already?
They probably had to wait for their bags for that long.
Right.
So what I told the kids as watching all these people rush off that didn't need to is, it's okay. They probably just have to have diarrhea, so that's why they're. And I was not quiet about it either. That
I
they
would have
heard,
done the
but
same thing.
they're very inconsiderate. Very inconsiderate.
It
That,
is.
that would be my Shonda.
right.
Inconsiderate people.
I'll go. Monday night, I guess about almost a week ago, I had the opportunity to see the movie October 8th. It was playing in White Marsh. I think it ended Wednesday night. And my Shonda of the week goes to every organization in the entire universe who fails to see anti-Semitism as something that is an issue. Every other marginalized group of people,
Sure.
I'm not going to go over the list of
No, because it doesn't
all
matter. It's
of
everybody.
them.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that resonated the most with me after leaving that movie was the hashtag Me Too Unless You're a Jew. Because every single group of people, whether it's a race, whether it's a religion, whether it's a personal preference of anything or who you are as a human being, people come to your cause and they fight for you and they advocate for you and they hold signs up and make Instagram posts, and not us, and not even the powerful Jews, not even no one.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing and it's sad.
Very
And
sad.
college campuses, I can't tell you how glad I am that my kids are graduating college, and I'm done giving money to the institutions who don't protect Jewish students.
Did you sat with my wife at the movie?
Yes.
Right? Not planned.
Not planned,
Not planned. Saw her there.
but she was four seats down. So that's my Shonda.
Emily, you're up.
Okay. My Shonda is kind of related to Purim, but it's the fact that I cannot clone myself
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to see the first of the Purim spiels, but I was in the carnival and I
Right.
also wanted to be in the carnival. So it's not that I wanted to not be in the carnival. I just wanted to do both and I could not do that.
Yes, I get that.
I
So,
think that we determined that cloning is halakhically impermissible.
well, I didn't do it. So
All right, so my Shonda, real quick. As you know, I'm fond of Shondas involving traffic issues. On Wednesday, I was on my way into the synagogue, and you know that what is it? It's the light at sort of Park Heights and I guess that's Old Court.
Yeah.
And there's a light, and you know you have to sort of be in one lane or the other. So I'm in the lane that's going straight on Park Heights
Going towards the duck pond.
towards the duck pond, towards Beth El.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then
If you would have made a left, it would have taken you to the Giant, not a
left is the
sponsor.
Giant, not sponsor, and right will take you down.
Beth
Old
Phyllis
Court to
School,
Beth
also
Phyllis.
not a
Correct.
sponsor.
Right. So there was a car in the lane turning right, but it decided no, it didn't need to be in that line. It needed to be in our lane. And it, I have to say, was impressive, but also super offensive that this car zoomed right when the light turned green. There was like this much itty bitty little space, zoomed up ahead, cut off two other cars to get in front, to be in our lane, to go down Park Heights Avenue. And while I was momentarily impressed, I was also furious.
What type of vehicle?
Scary.
I don't know. It wasn't. It was like a black sedan.
Okay.
Wasn't you?
It
Was
wasn't.
it-
It wasn't Jeremy.
Is it a member?
It was not. I didn't. I did. It kept going past Beth El.
Okay.
As I
Good.
went down the street, but
Good.
I was like, that was quite the shanda for me. I was pretty annoyed. But I think that's going to do it for us here today. For Havdalah Happy Hour, wishing you all a wonderful week ahead. Get ready for Passover. We'll talk about it again soon, I'm sure. But you've been listening to Havdalah Happy Hour here on the Beth El Podcast Network. You can go and find all of our shows wherever you go to listen to your favorite podcasts or on the Congregation's YouTube channel. Just remember to follow us on all our social media platforms, including but not limited to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just search Beth El Balto. Thanks so much for listening. Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.